having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. Remember, all of the ads, well, that comes from YouTube. So if you get blown up on ads, let me know in the comments below. It just means that I haven't had a chance to go in and manually remove some of those. So I'm relying on you to help me out with that. So what I wanted to talk about is kind of the elephant in the room in a way. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for supporting the channel. And I mean this when I say it. Could not, would not do this without you. But what I wanted to say to you guys too is I also appreciate all of the well wishes and all of the, I guess the emotional support with me not getting the Demon 170. There's a lot of folks that have been reaching out asking if I'm going to get one, if there is a way I'm going to be able to bring you guys content with the 170 or something like that. So the short answer to that is probably not. The way that things are looking is that all of the Demon 170 allocations are out there, and at this stage of the game, guys, there's really no chance of me getting one. But it's not just a process of availability. What I wanted to do is I wanted to walk you guys through the process that I was going through to try to get one, and basically bring you guys into the headspace as far as what the realities of that purchase would have looked like and what kind of content that I would be able to bring to you guys and what my plans were initially for a Demon 170. I want to bring to you guys also some of the realities of being on this side of the camera and why it can be a bit of a difficult proposition when we're talking about putting together a purchase and putting out content with, a car like that. So I'm going to let some of you guys go ahead and come in. I'm going to get my contraption to where it doesn't die on us. I guess this would have been a good thing to have already planned out, but you know what? That's live for you. You never know how these things are going to go. This is kind of a bit of an analogy for how that Demon 170 thing went. So there we go. Okay, now we're talking. Let me check in with you guys first, and then I'll jump right in the middle of this. Nitro is in. First on the jump, Colby is in. What's up, man? Rick, what's up, buddy? Lime is in. I'm watching it right now. How's it going, B? It's going well. Dan saying, what up, Professor B? What up, Dan? So let's go back a ways, okay? So before the Demon 170 was announced or released, there was some buzz already happening for those of us that are in the know, and I kind of had a knowledge of this car coming out quite a while before it landed. So not saying that I'm, Brian the Insider, that's not even close to that. But what I am is I am tied to some people that are tied to other folks on kind of a more specialized level when it comes to this type of stuff. And I'm leaving this incredibly vague because these are folks that they don't even want their positions to be known or how I would know some of the stuff that I can find out. But anyway, suffice it to say that it was pretty exciting on the front end, and really the only key piece or key takeaway that I had definite knowledge of was the sensed ethanol content sensor. So once that information was provided, I knew exactly where we were going with this thing. And so I was really geeked up and I was really excited about getting my hands on one of those cars. And so the questions started to fly. I had 2 Dodge dealerships that I knew that I could potentially work with in getting my hands on one of these things. And as time started coming a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and the releases let out, I immediately started calling folks that I knew and that I had already been talking to, mind you, about figuring out a way to get my hands on one of these cars. Now, let's talk about what one of these cars costs from a window sticker point of view. The car that I had spec'd, which would have been as base model as you could get. In other words, it would have been white, black roof, black hood, black trunk with a passenger seat. And that's it. It was going to be Shalandra 2.0, and it would have been dirty, dirty, dirty. So there's that. But Shalandra 2.0 would have been the car that I would have spec'd. It's the car that I would have bought. It'd been a white knuckle 170. And it would have been stunning had things gone the way that I was hoping that they would go. But again, the sticker on it was about $115,000. Now, I want to go full stop right there. I want you to consider that cost, $115,000 on a sticker price, not including gas guzzler. And anyway, the long and short of it is that the cost of this thing would have easily been, in total, right around $125,000. So just digest that for just a minute. $125,000 for a car that is going to owe me money. Okay, this is an investment. Not only is a car or a purchase like that an investment, but you need to start showing return on investment within about 30 days of the purchase. So anyway, but I had some things planned out. I was going to be working with some folks out at a couple of different drag strips, both locally and a little bit further away, that would have had me in really good company, being able to put this car to the test against a lot of different folks. And I was kind of looking forward to it, a bit under wraps, mind you. And yet still very critical of the car coming into this. I had some significant reservations about buying this car, or potentially even just the car in general. I had a lot of reservations about it because of what happened with the regular Demon. Namely, that car needed magical air to get a number out of it. And it just wasn't a good look for Dodge. And I did not want to be part of that same scenario. There's another thing. I also didn't want to be part of the group of folks that will basically chop shop one of these cars down to like just a couple of threads of, I don't know, lint in the car, no panels, no seats, Kirky racing seat, dash panel, door cards, window motors, Lexan glass, got, no squirter bottle, no squirter pump, no windshield wipers, all of that crap. I was not going to be part of that crew either. It's one of the reasons why I chose with Revlon. I didn't, that's why I made the video like, here's the windshield wipers working. Yes, the windows are going up and down. Here's what the inside of my car looks like. When I was on the record-setting runs with that car, I wanted to make it perfectly clear to everybody and to the people that I was competing with that, guys, this is how I show up to play. If you're gutting the car, that's great. But, and there's no rule against it, but shit, man, there's some kind of a, I don't know, spirit of competition that, you got to stick within some rules, right? Anyway, getting back to it, those were my reservations about the car, and I knew that that was going to be some stuff that was coming. So it was going to be basically second verse, same as the first. Let me go ahead and crack everybody's ass with a car that is basically as delivered from the factory. Well, so that kind of got me hyped up, okay? I was going to get Shalandra version 2.0. Basically, Shalandra's gone to the spa. She's shown back up with a new rack and a new ass. That was going to be my Demon 170. And again, had worked out some things with some tracks and with some folks that was going to work out to be actually some pretty cool content on that car. And it was going to be me up against fellow racers. You know, let's all run this thing. If you think you can beat me in a number, come down. Let's see. And there will be a certain number of people that I would, choose to have in the car, and they can run it. Because I thought that'd be kind of a fun competition. Okay, so I started working to try to get one. Now, again, roughly $125,000 once you factor in all the BS. But I had a plan. Revlon was going to be traded in, so was Stormy, and it was going to basically kill a ton of taxes on that car. And basically, I wouldn't be financing it. The number that I would be financing would actually be fairly palatable. Even though I'm looking at $125,000, I could actually get that thing down to a fairly reasonable number, say about half that, and that would have been great. It would have been an instant sale for whatever dealership I was working with, plus a whole lot of pub for them, assuming that the videos and the content would take off. That's a big portion of this. We're going to get to that here in just a second. So as things were progressing, I should say, as I was progressing through the process of trying to get one of these cars, let's just say that negotiations deteriorated at a rather alarming pace, where I had a couple of options that would have put me in a fairly decent position now said, oh, well, no, we're going to need something above and beyond sticker. I'm like, okay, here it comes. What's it, like 10 grand over sticker? Come on, talk to me. 90,000 whole ass dollars over sticker. 90 of them. $90,000. And that, my friends, was the low number. The high number was 125. Yeah. So I came into this thinking I'm getting Shalandra back. I'm going to wax everybody's ass. I'm coming for everyone with a 170. I'm going to do to them what I did to everybody with a Hellcat coming into this, which is go deeper than Atlantis into that ass. I'm going to make everybody wonder how I did it, and it's going to be classic. And that was what my hope anyway. I was hoping to kind of carry some of that momentum and success that I have with Revlon into that platform. But here's the thing. I can't compete with $90,000. I can't compete with $90,000 over stickers. So I definitely can't compete with 125 over. And so I said, look, man, we got to, this is obviously a negotiable number, right? I mean, you're talking 90, I'm thinking 10. And it never really went the way that I had hoped throughout that whole thing, because they didn't budge. Like, look, if you don't spend the money, somebody else will. Like, yeah, you're exactly right, I suppose. But, shit, man. 90,000? Like, can we talk about 20 maybe? I mean, shit. I mean, if you're gonna, damn, at least give me an option of where I'm gonna get this freaking, going to town on me, right? So, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, shit, okay, somebody's got to be able to work with me. And the problem is that finding a dealership that would work with me then led to another dealership saying, well, we only have 2 allocations and those are spoken for, and those 2 are paying 100 over sticker. Really? 100 whole ass $1,000 over sticker. Then come to find out that a good friend of mine who was in line to get a 170, like one of the first 170s, yeah, that dealership screwed him too. Yeah. So as you can see, things like all of my plans that I had hatched for a 170 basically turned to liquid shit over the course of about 3 weeks. And as you can imagine, I was pretty heartbroken by this whole thing. I had every opportunity and every option available to me, seemingly at the time, in terms of option as far as going to different dealerships. And the opportunity was there with Revlon and with Stormy already ready to go, and had about 6 to 9 months worth of really good content that I could bring you guys from a racer's perspective, from somebody that is set, albeit micro records. These are records that mean something in the Mopar community, at least to the handful of people that matter, or that these things matter to. And I was going to be bringing this stuff to you as a guy that was, able to do what I was able to do with one of the very first Hellcats that was ever released for public consumption. Now I'd be able to do it with the very last of the Hellcat variants that was released for public consumption. Well, that didn't quite go over as well as I had hoped. And so basically I gave up on it. I mean, there was no way for me to come up with another 90 whole ass $1,000 to hand over to this dealership so that I could then pay $125,000 for the privilege of owning a Demon 170. So when you think about it from that point of view, it's a real shame, because there's a group of guys out there that are not going to get a 170. And I would have even been cool with if I said, look, this is how far I was willing to go, guys. I was like, look, I'll order the car, I'll bring the car in, I'll run the car, I'll have all this pub, really cool content with really cool people, and bring all this stuff to you. I'll even give you an option to buy the car back in a year or 2 years. And I will option that car back to you at sticker for what I paid for it. So if there's money to be made on the back end of this car, I will option that car to you and you can make your money back then. If you're so familiar with this process and you think and you're so confident that this car is going to be worth that much money this far down the line, what do you have to lose? Don't bitch up now. This is your opportunity to make $50,000, $60,000, and I can make the content. It's like a partnership that should have been like peanut butter and jelly. Nobody wanted to have any part of that either, not to mention the panache that you would have selling an internet famous car. I mean, let's be honest. If I start putting out content with a Demon 170, my subscriber count goes up by tenfold. At least you would hope, right? Well, chances are probably not. But at least you would have a well-documented 170 along for the ride. And for some people, that means something. You would hope. But it doesn't. It doesn't mean enough for a dealership to go, oh, okay, hell, let's go ahead and make this deal. Nobody was confident enough that in a year or 2 years, you would be able to get 50 grand over sticker for a used Dodge. And so nobody jumped at the chance. When I say, guys, that I was giving all kinds of opportunity to dealerships to partner up with me, I was doing everything I possibly could to try to make this happen and work with these dealerships. And nobody would stand behind an MSRP price, one. Two, nobody was realistic with their ad attack. That's problem like number 1 and 2 kind of combined. But the funny thing is that when the option of, okay, well, if you want to make money on this on the front end, at least give me an opportunity to buy the car. And then if it's that much of an investment, then you would be more than happy to partner up with me on this. Everybody scattered like roaches when the lights come on. I mean, guys, what a joke. So there you have it, kids. That's what happened with that. So I had to, at some point, I mean, dude, I got to cut bait and head for sure. There's nothing that I can, at this stage of the game, do to get my hands on one of the cars. And the more I started thinking about it, the more it really started bothering me with Dodge, with Stellantis, with Ram, with all of the brands combined. You know, this is one of those situations where you can take a fan and turn them 180 degrees. I mean, this is how you make a Ford fan, is by acting like a Dodge dealership in this case. And so the more I got to thinking about it, I was like, well, guys, let's go through the numbers. The Hellcat content isn't there. Love the car. A lot of cool stuff going on with that thing. But, you know, hell, even the Ram content, which has 5.7 content, pickup truck content, and all of that, never really gained any altitude. Matter of fact, the only videos that have really done well from a global standpoint have been the live shows. And that's just because it's a consistent, you know, place for guys to go to have a, you know, a car related long form white noise generator in the background. And I get it. And I appreciate all of that. I mean, I love my truck drivers, my machinists, you know, the guys on the job, the guys in the office that have me in the pods. Guys, I love all of y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for sticking around for so long. That's why I do the show as regularly as I try to do too, because I know that there's shows that I like watching, or channels that I like watching, that put out content weekly or every other week. And it's kind of nice to just be able to catch up and find out what these guys are up to. And, you know, just to chat about stuff. Plus, you know me, I'll, you know, just randomly go off for seemingly no reason, which can be somewhat entertaining, I suppose. But, you know, that's just, you know, me being, you know, a bald guy with, you know, kind of significant impulse control issues when it comes to saying stuff. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that this was an opportunity that I gave it a go. I tried to partner up with folks that just didn't work out. And, but cheer on the guys that you support, cheer them on. I mean, RacerX obviously just is going to be taking true possession of that car here pretty soon. I think it's still at the dealership right now, but support his content with that car. Listen, by the way, it was tough for me to keep that under wraps. I was so happy for him. And him and I were talking about colors and how it's going to look. And I was like, go, Mango, you know, anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. And, you know, I know that Demonology's got his coming. So, again, support that content. I would have loved to line up Shalandra 2.0 against these guys and just have a go at each other, because we'd all be really close, because, you know, we're all very seasoned racers. And so it's always a lot of fun when you get guys that are, you know, as competitive as we are, lined up in what is in essence the same car. We're all going to be going for, I had a better 60 foot. Well, I had a better reaction time. Well, my car went faster. You know, I mean, but you weigh less. Yeah, but you're bald. You know, I mean, it's just, it's going to be, it would have been a lot of fun, and we were all looking forward to it. But alas, here's where we are. So, but yes, Revlon did sell. She's gone. And you know what's funny though? This is gonna sting for some of you guys. I don't miss that car at all. I loved my experiences with that car. But a lot of people that, do you miss it already? How do you feel about it? Whatever. Man, I got to tell you guys, I really don't. And hey, Skids, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate the live speed. Great place to hang and discuss cars, trucks, bikes, and semis. Yes. So somebody posted up 1974 Kenworth K100. It was on, I don't know, one of the Instagram things. And I'm like, if you guys don't know, I don't know a lot about semi tractors. Okay. I know enough just to be dangerous, but there was actually a muscle truck era for the big rigs, and they would put 500-600 horsepower diesels in these. If you know anything about diesels like this, 500 horsepower is like 1,700 foot-pounds of torque, 1,800 foot-pounds of torque, and then they would turn the wick up on those. Anyway, really good-looking trucks. I found myself going down a bit of a rabbit hole a couple of days ago, and anyway, I am stupid like a little kid when I get around big rigs. I've never driven one. I've never been around them. but damn, the cab overs in particular, and the older Peterbilts and the older Freightliners and Kenworths, I just get stupid around those things. I feel like a little boy when I'm around those. So I don't know. Some fascinations never go away. I get like that a little bit with motorcycles too, especially vintage looking hot rods, which duh, because I just bought one. But anyway, man, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah, no. So anyway, I wanted to just, I wasn't able to put a video together, like a standalone video for you guys to discuss more of the intricate details of the whys behind the reason why I'm not getting a 170. And I felt I owed it to y'all because, I mean, I tried, guys. I was working it, and one of those things is that it's not like I can bring y'all along for the ride with some of the stuff behind the scenes, because there's like the big reveal needs to include all of that, and unfortunately it was just, I don't know, that the whole thing went over like a fart in a sauna, and I'm just it would have been cool if things would have gone different. And I thought that they were. So that's the biggest thing, is that I thought that, so let me kind of give you guys a fast forward. So the plan was, if everything went according to plan and things went well, that the car would in essence pay for itself through the channel. And so that would have been kind of the end of it. And then it would have been, okay, I'm going to campaign this thing against anything and everything I possibly can. Is it faster than a 170? Can you run with a 170? All this other stuff. I mean, I had a lot of stuff planned out. Some kind of cool trips were planned out also, with the hopes that this was going to happen. It was going to basically be Texas circuit, Georgia, and Florida were going to be the first states that I was going to hit up first. Louisiana also at NOLA, because I wanted to get the car on NOLA, because that's where, some of this started. So anyway, wanted to get that going again, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. But those are some of the plans that were kind of in the works. And without, without dealer support or anything else, I don't know, like not being completely out of your mind crazy about add tags, this would have already happened. And I'd be telling you about what's up as opposed to, what's up with that instead of this. Now, I guess the question is, do I have any hard feelings towards Dodge because of this? Yeah, I kind of do. The reason why I say it like that is because there weren't any provisions for the people that have been flying the flag the highest for Dodge to get their hands on one. There were demon owners that got screwed on this deal. There were super stock owners that got screwed on this deal. There were Hellcat owners that were really screwed on this deal, that were contending to try to cover a number. And those are the guys that I wanted to see get these cars. There might have been, out of the people that I'm talking about, there's probably maybe 35 or 40 folks that I'm thinking about off the top of my head right now that should have gotten that car, that did not get that car. Now, that's not to say that I'm friends with these people. That's not to say that I agree with how they've gone about covering numbers with these cars. That's not to say that I am... whatever with these folks. I'm not, nothing like that, but I have to respect them as racers and as brand ambassadors. And they did not get, in fact, there's a few of them but I still would want to see them get one of these cars, and they did not. And that, my friends, is that should tell you enough about where I'm at with this whole process. There's so much leverage put on social media, but there are, and not enough, I don't know, I guess, support for the guys that actually carry the flag for your premium products too. That's another thing that pissed me off. Look, not trying to say, whatever with this, take it how you will, but it's a Hellcat owners, Red Eye owners, demon owners, we've got more invested in the brand than everybody else, especially when you have as many people that have been out there, just like I was talking about, that are frequent at events and frequent at trying to get numbers out of the cars, whether it's local or regionally. So again, just that's kind of where I'm at with all of that. Now, what about the dealerships themselves? Okay, look, here's, yeah, it's pretty messed up. Okay, I'll hand you that. But guys, would you walk away from an extra $90,000 if somebody were to give it to you? Like, let me put it to you this way. You have a car, or let's say you have a pickup truck, and you put it out on Facebook Marketplace, or you go to trade the thing in, whatever, and you know that your trade-in value is $20,000. And if the dealership or somebody walked up and said, you know what, you're asking $20,000, no, I don't see $20,000 being an option. I'm going to give you $70,000 for that thing. Or I'm going to give you $40,000. I'm going to double what that car or what that truck is that you have. You got 20, I'll give you 40. Would you walk away from that deal, from one dealership, because you had relationships with another dealership? I want you to think about this. What if your best friend is the salesman at dealership B, and they're like, yeah, man, we'll give you a decent deal on your truck. 20 grand is your trade-in value. But you go to dealership A, and somebody that you don't know, that you've never met, says, 20 grand, shit, I'll give you 40 grand for it. I'll do it today. 40 grand today is what I'll give you on your trade-in. Your best friend in the world, you would do whatever in the world that person needed, is going to give you 20, but this other dealership is going to give you 40. What do you do? You call up your boy and go, hey man, listen, this dealership's going to give me 40 grand for my truck. Now, let's say the guy's been down on his luck too. Let's say your buddy has been down on his luck, man, he really needs this sale. Not because it's a money thing, but because it's more of a, I'd like to keep my job thing, just, bad ups and things like that. I kind of need the extra cash. I mean, in that respect, you could, virtue your way out. I'd take the 20 grand and I'd split it with my friend. Yeah, well, now you're buying something. So, you're not getting $40,000 for your car. You're just getting $40,000 in trade. So that argument doesn't play here. What would you do? There's a time that will come when you're dealing with a business that you have to just concede that the business is going to do what is in the best interest of the business, not in the best interest of the consumer, and not in the best interest of its employees sometimes. It's going to do what is best to keep the lights on and put cash in the coffers of that business. And listen, if somebody was willing to give them $90,000, which they were, or $125,000, which they did do, for that car, then I've got to, if you can get it, then get it. Okay, so am I upset with the business owners over that? I'm butthurt over it, but I'm not mad. Like, you can't get mad at somebody for just, oh really, they want to give you more money? Oh no, please, I can't accept your more money, because more money acceptance is a bad idea when you run a business. It's not, guys. And listen, yeah, I can be as butthurt as the day is long, but the reality is that they got a business to run. And you know what? Maybe that extra $90,000 or $125,000 helps them keep employees on the payroll. Maybe it helps to keep a single mom working in the service department, or, a dad that's going through rough times, with whatever reason or whatever problems he's got. He's in the back working on the cars. We're going to keep Frank on board, okay? This year, we're going to cover Frank. Don't worry about it. We'll worry about the problems later, or whatever. Just extend the scenario across the board, right? That's the way you have to think of these things, because the alternative is, man, the alternative is just, it hurts to think of the alternative, right? Anyway, no, seriously, guys, you've got to take their realities into account. David, thank you very much. Dude, man, I appreciate that. David, I don't see a question or something like that, but man, David Barlow, I appreciate the contribution, my brother. Thank you very much. Um, Unless there's something that I'm just haven't touched on yet. But thank you, David. I truly appreciate that, buddy. No, but seriously, guys, like I say, I can be, I could, just as easily be all freaked out. Nah, this dealership. Nah. But again, hopefully that scenario, you can understand what I'm talking about and understand why I'm just not mad about it. But I am disappointed. And I'm disappointed because, there's not to say that I'm elevated on some level or whatever, but there are folks that I know that aren't getting these cars that should have received a phone call from somebody in marketing. And it just stinks because, God, it would have been cool to see. So it would have been really cool to see Scavenger get one. That's one of the first ones that comes to mind. It would have been cool as hell to see Scavenger get one. It would have been really cool to see Jim Mopar get one. It would have. I'm glad that Racer X is getting one. I'm stoked that Demonology is getting one. There's some of these guys that are getting this car though that can fuck right off. Okay, I'm not even going to start mentioning names because I flat out won't do that. I will not bring that negativity to my channel, but fuck right off they can and fuck right off they should. And so with saying that, prove me wrong, have the car at a drag strip, do something cool with it, go do events with it, promote the brand and shut my mouth. But there are some people that I just don't know. They can money their way through anything, and for that, good on them. They figured out they've got a cheat code, or they figured out something that I haven't quite figured out yet. Bravo! But again, there are, and for the other ones that are just out there in the atmosphere, they're going to be buying these things and just parking them in the garage and hoping that they go up in value. Let me enter you into this thought process. My boys, listen to me when I say this and listen good. Hellcat prices. Remember when Hellcats were $75,000 in dealerships? I'm sorry, $85,000 and dealerships were asking $15,000 over sticker. It wasn't that long ago, was it? We can all remember that very well. Well, it's funny that $15,000 over sticker then turned into $10,000 over sticker. So your $85,000 car was now $100,000, but now it's $95,000. Now your $85,000 car that didn't sell for $95,000, well, then they started saying, well, we're just going to do a $5,000 market correction. Wow, we're going to help you out, my friend. And now your $85,000 sticker car, we're just only going to ask you for $90,000. Then dealerships took a look at that and thought, well, this didn't go over too well. And we pissed off people in the process. And, well, we kind of drove up the pricing on used cars a little bit. We've been burned on that. Tell you what, we'll sell it to you for sticker. How about that? We'll be kind enough to sell you this car at sticker price. And in the meantime, the buying public was getting smart, and they had been smart about this for a long time, and they were getting rid of cars to dealerships, and trade-in values were above, in some cases, what they paid for the car in the beginning of this whole disaster flick just a few years prior. Well, fast forward to today, my boys, because the same cars that are on the dealership's lot are now getting $5,000 and $8,000 discounts off of sticker. That's right, the same car, not the same kind of car, the same exact car that they were asking that much money for that didn't sell and had no prayer of selling because nobody in their right mind would spend that kind of money over. They burnt so much public trust, public goodwill in the process of that. Now they're offering how much, and would probably take even more if you're actually a serious buyer. Yeah, think of that for just a hot dadgum minute. And now take that hot dadgum minute and then transverse that way of thinking over to that hot little Demon 170 that you're looking at, that they're asking 90, 100, 125 whole ass $1,000 over sticker for. Well, what happens if it's a dealer purchased car, the car's sitting there, and all they start doing is whittling away at their add tag for that car? Started out at 90, now it's down to 70, looking at 50, talking about 40, talking about 30. Can we get 30? Can we get 25? Can we get 20? Can we get 15? This is the backwards auction scenario that has happened with the cars that are already sitting on the lot. Already sitting on the lot, my friends. Remember everybody that spent $130,000, $150,000, $170,000 on a regular Demon now can't get 80 for them? Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be at all. That broomstick is up to the freaking bristles in some people's asses over that whole deal. And I don't see the dealership stipending anybody. Oh, wait, well, yeah, you paid that much over sticker, but that was the market cost. Yeah. Well, the market took a nosedive. And now look at where these folks are at. You're sitting on a prospect with some of these cars where you've dumped how much money into add a tag, and you'll never see that money ever again. Well, if you save it for 20 years, maybe you can. Well, provided you survive that amount of time, you would have also had to insure the car, exercise the car, maintain the car. Everything that would house the car, everything that you would have had to do will cost you that amount of money. So again, I have to ask the question, if you spent hella stupid money above and beyond sticker, now you're starting to see the writing on the walls, and you're going, oh, this car is now, it was 15. Now it's at that's a $25,000 swing on a regular Hellcat. And that's a hell. What about the Scatties and the RTs that they were trying to do the same thing on? $2,000, $5,000, $8,000 over sticker. Now those cars are being discounted from the sticker price. Holy mackerel, is this 2019 all over again? You can see where I'm going with this, guys. There's no way in the world that the revenue generated from that car would be able to cover the add tag, much less any depreciation that would have come with it. I would have had to have been able to cough up, in essence, what could have been $30,000, $40,000 at the rate that these things are going. And by the way, let's not forget that the cars, once they hit the streets, if you don't have them at the drag strip, on a dyno, rinse and repeat over and over and over and over again, they're not making money for you. So the problem is that you had a lot of people waiting on cars. You had a lot of people that haven't had a chance to get the cars to a track yet that bought these cars specifically for content or specifically as some kind of an investment that are in the process of potentially getting fooked on this deal. So in a way, if you don't get one at sticker, you're screwed, because there's no way to tell where the market is truly going to land. And by the way, it ain't like interest rates are low right now either. If you bought one of these things and you've got a high carrying cost, that eats away at any add tag that you could have maybe gotten away with not paying. So there's a significant business proposition in this in total. You have to look at all of your costs, both real and opportunity costs, as well as carrying costs. And it doesn't look that good. So again, the prospect is bleak. Now I understand there's some markets that have sold these things for stupid money. And I'm not talking about $200,000. I've heard numbers like $350,000, okay? I wasn't there. I didn't watch the transaction take place. I still think some of these numbers are tall tales, if you will. But I do know for a fact that 250 has been a walking around number for these cars for a hot ass minute. And I know that, at least in my own personal experience, because that's what one of the dealerships got for the car that I was going to order. So do the math. I would have to make enough money off of the car to cover the car, cover the added tag, cover the carrying costs, as well as cover any travel. And now you're looking at a car that's got to generate somewhere over $350,000. Think about that. My little YouTube channel ain't going to make $350,000 in its whole ass life. It doesn't matter what I put out there. So, what am I going to do? Open up an Only Demons page or something like that? Take pictures of my feet. Anyway, let me catch up with you guys. I've been blabbering on now for 45 whole minutes. I'm just going to have to kind of land wherever I land, guys. If I skip you, just let me know later. X, I'm just going to pick up on some. What, Professor B in chat? What up? Not liking the Hemi. I'll tell you what, the Hurricane's legit. Rick, yes, did sell the Hellcat. Sean is in. Yup, Rick is in. Ken saying the dealers don't want people flipping the car and making a profit if they can't make it first. Dodge should give YouTubers who promote the brand the 170 at dealer invoice. Agreed. I don't know what else to stick up. I got toes and nose. Yes, agreed. Skids, make sure you back out of the chat and hit like. Yeah, hit like, guys. Hit like, subscribe, please. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Rick saying, too bad they wouldn't work with you. I'm sure we would all have enjoyed that, taking that journey with you. I would have loved having you all along for the ride. Plus, the shit talking would have been off the planet awesome. Are you kidding me? You get me, Racer X, Demonology. We got like 5 other dudes. If we could have all had us like just on each other's asses, it would have been hysterical. Plus, the racing would have been really good because we're all extremely experienced drag racers. So there is that. Ken saying, hard to believe in the late 60s, some dealers and manufacturers would sponsor street racers, for sure. Ken's asking, whatever happened to Mr. Donut? No clue. And again, Skids, thank you, brother. Oh, by the way, yeah, real talk. The quick throttle on the Z900, it should have come from the factory that way. Marco's saying, I didn't miss my red eye either, but I did miss my C7 and built 2019 Ram. Getting a lot of that. A lot of guys that have sold theirs, they're really not looking back. Kids, I've always had a passion for cab overs. Man, dude, I'm a moron when it comes to the hot rod cab overs, man. I don't know why. I have no idea why that configuration does something for me, but ever since I was a little kid, that's what I was drawn to. And which one was it? Y'all will know this before I will. It was the hot rod muscle truck, either a Freightliner or a Kenworth, and it's the one that had the monster radiator up front. That one was optioned with a 5 or a 600 horse Cat, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, check that out from the 70s or early 80s. That was during the muscle diesel truck era from back then, and that was one that you would see before guys really started turning up the wick on some of the other cats. That's what you would see in diesel truck drag racing, which is awesome to watch, by the way. This kid saying BJ McKay may have had a hand in that. Might have been. And my best friend Bear, his what was that, an orangutan or a chimpanzee? Oh, Rick's checking in saying, hey, to catch up with UB, OST Dyno Me put together a 20K E85 build on my 2018 Hellcat with a Demon fuel pump. Haven't had it to the track much. Life got in the way, but looking to hit the track soon. Man, keep us posted. I love that kind of build. Marco's saying, this regular cab build is taking forever, but 392 regular cab, that'd be a fun truck. I love the idea of 392s. I know that working with Matt over at Most Performance, a lot of the guys are moving to 392 swaps for their trucks, and all of them are loving them. So I like to hear that. Rick said, I've run a string of 1040s doing absolutely nothing to the car with all my car show junk in the trunk, laying down about 40 yards of Mickey's and pedaling it all the way. Nice. I like to see it this spring. I'm liking it. X is not loving him some Dodge. I feel like since the 2018 Demon, though, and Dodge has only gotten worse with pricing on their cars. Real talk. Here's a funny thing. Don't forget, guys, that the 2018 Demon was supposed to be the LX platform's swan song. Well, we're pretty well far removed from 2018 at this point. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Rift is in. Super stock owners and cat owners. Yep. Saying preach, brother. Hard Rock saying, good evening, happy holidays. Good evening and happy holidays to you, my friend. X is saying a 50% price increase over 5 years is insane. I'll keep my Challenger SRT8. Yeah, they've lost a lot of folks, brother. I hear you. The Richie Rich band of brothers. Yeah, you got to have some money, too. Hard Rock saying, thing is, the C170 is a muscle car, not a Ferrari or a Bugatti. Well, here's the other thing, too. Not only is it not that, it's not a street car, realistically speaking. I mean, it's a track car. And listen, if you are a consistent competitor at the drag strip, you're actually kind of money ahead with a 170 if you bought it at sticker. But that'd be tough to do. Noav, thank you, buddy. Saying no question, man. I do appreciate that, brother. Thank you very, very much for that. I didn't know I could do that. Hang on a second. I can send a heart for those. Oh, there we go. Thank you. There's been some changes on the YouTube side where like I can do like little things like throw hearts and thanks and stuff like that at you guys. So thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Ooh, I just kind of smoked all y'all to get down to that. Hang on. So I'm saying B is on early tonight. Yes, I am on early. And I'm trying to do this maybe a little bit earlier too, so I can encompass more folks in on the chat. I know 9:30 is tough to ask, especially if you're on the East Coast. And again, David, thank you, buddy. Riff said, I'm actually really pissed right now. I have my 2015 Cat, which I still have, make a 900 wheel almost, and my 2009 6-speed SRT8, but because California kept saying they're going to crush my car. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got just because of smog. And was one of the lucky first people to have a Hellcat modded in Cali. I freaked out and bought a super stock. Oh, yeah, that's the one that got stung. I remember you telling me about that. Itch is in. Good day, sir. Into that thing for a couple of grand. That sucks. Oh, Skid saying, I think the extra 90 grand keeps the owner happy and they're going to pay employees what they're going to pay. I know, dude. I know. I try to be optimistic, or at least I try to be, I don't know, man. I try to at least, I can only survive that keeping a positive mindset. So, which I know is bullshit, but you can get the idea. John, yeah, it is that special. There's a lot of really trick engineering going into that car. It's legit, no doubt about it. Red Dog, yeah, 174 Chargers and Challengers. They're having a hard time selling stuff. For a lot of reasons, man. A lot of it's because they've been asking a whole lot of money for these things. What John's asking, what would I comfortably price a new Scat Pack in Hellcat? I don't know, 40 and 60 grand. I don't really know. I mean, the thing is bring everything back to 2015 prices. Sovereign is in. All right, saying Chris would race it. It would be sweet. Sovereign, I've been seeing oddball YouTube channels with the Demon 170. Yeah, explain that to me. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Rift on his car. Hope all is well, man. Keep finding more and more damage. Super stock, thinking I need to really hold the dealership responsible. Yeah, I would. Oh, John, you go Demon 170 every time. Oh, Rift, yeah, on his car. Yeah, that sucks, dude. No difference on that, John. Um, Damn, that's pretty gross. Um, Ripsan offered a $140 cash for the 170, got pretty much laughed at. That happens to happened to all of us. Um, oh, Hard Rock, yeah, ridiculous price gouging at a Vanguard. That sucks. Yeah, I don't get it, dude. Like I say, there's some I just don't understand. Hard Rock saying C70 is worth about 80 grand total. Um, I mean, I don't know how guys are getting their hands on them. I really don't. Red Dog's laughing. Um, oh, SCW, my Scat Pack had an advertised price of 55, and I got the dealer to sell it to me for 39. That's an awesome deal. Kind of tells you how much margin's in that. Um, oop. Oh yeah, Riff Scott. Yeah, got a good deal on his. Let's see. The buyer's gonna lose their ass for sure. It's gonna say enough of the Danny Downer. How's the T-Bird, my friend? Dude, I tell you what, let's talk about that bike. So I don't have it back yet. We're still waiting on one of the rear tires to show up, of all things. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I get it back. I'm hoping to get it tomorrow. So we'll see about that, either tomorrow or Friday. I can tell you that the wife is very impatient. She's dying to go for a ride. I'm dying to go for a ride. And I'll tell you something, that bike, man, I'm not a convert to cruiser life, but I would be forgiven if I got that way. That bike, it's such a neat and fun bike to ride. And I'm just really wanting to get my mitts on that thing because God, it's such a beefy, chunky motor to ride around. And, you know, there's something to be said for short shifting through a really big twin. In other words, short shifting like 3,500 RPM, 4,000 RPM at the very most, and just motoring through this huge tidal swell of torque that those types of engines make. These, for you guys that know what I'm talking about, I've got a Triumph Thunderbird, which is a 1,600cc parallel twin. It's basically right at 100 cubic inches. And for anybody that's around bikes, I can tell you the size of an engine, but it is irrelevant when it comes to motorcycles. And this is one of the reasons why, guys, I've been around bikes my entire life. And one of the things I love about bikes is, first of all, I've never met a motorcycle I didn't like. They're like puppies to me. And so it doesn't matter if it's I take that back. I haven't really gravitated into adventure bikes yet, but scramblers, cafe racers, UJMs are just a standard upright bike, sport bikes. The list goes on and on. I've never met a bike I didn't like. But the neat thing about motorcycles is that it does the displacement. If I tell you 1,000 cc's, 9,500 RPM, guys that know bikes immediately know, in other words, 9,500 RPM red line. You already know what to expect out of this bike. It's going to be a handful, torquey, fun, chunky motor, and that bike is probably going to be a little bit on the heavy side, but it's going to be a power cruiser or a power sport tourer. That's what you know. The power number is irrelevant. We know what this bike is going to run like. Or if I say 750 cc's, 13,000 RPM, you're like, yeah, we know what this thing is going to run like. We know that. So anyway, that the neat thing about bikes is that you never take the CC displacement into consideration. You're looking at the CC, the red line, and you kind of know what to expect out of them, and they're going to be a blast. And I absolutely love all types of bikes, low revving parallel twins or high revving V-twins. It doesn't matter. I love every single one of them. And so anyway, I just get a kick out of, these big chunky bikes. Oh, Red Dog, thank you very much, brother. Make sure you get a heart for that. Like Butters from South Park, and you get a gold star. Why isn't it not letting me do this? There you go. Ordered an H-pipe cat back, just concerned about drone. I wouldn't be concerned about that at all. It's going to sound good. The only thing that you may know, it's going to be a little bit bassier sounding than an X-pipe, and it's going to be a little bit louder. I'm guessing you went with the pipes kit, which is the one I was going to put on that car right there. In fact, I had it practically already on the way at one point. But yeah, that's what I wanted to put on that car. And I can tell you that when I pulled the resonators off of my stock system, it got a little bit annoying when the engine was cold, when it was still like going a little bit on the rich side of life. But if you got the H pipe like I was going to get, it basically has the bigger muffler. It's got the bigger muffler like the manual Hellcats have. And so that kind of shuts them up a little bit. And so I think it'll end up sounding okay for you. I wouldn't be too concerned with drone. It'll be louder, but it's going to sound good. And if it's a little droney, I never had a problem with them. And really, once you're going like highway speeds, it's not really a problem at all. Let's see. Let me catch back up. But again, thank you very much, my brother. Arthur's saying, listening while cleaning. Oh, Arthur's got the cadence, got the flex with the bald guy and the glasses. I like it. Very good. Oh, Rick's saying, I got smoking deals on both my cars. My 2017 6.4 TA, new factory clearance at $7,500 off of a $5,000 sticker. Very nice. I miss those days. Yeah, I don't know. You throw quarters and dimes at the girls down here, boy. You might get a fish-filled high heel up on you. That's funny though. Rick saying my 2018 Hellcat I found still at the dealership with $2,000 ceramic coat and 840 miles on it, stickered at 76. Got it for 57. Very nice, with a potential 9-second build on it. I'm just back to window sticker. That's true. Oh, Riff saying, I wish they had put something on the super stock to make it stand out. Yeah, it doesn't have anything on that car to tell you that it's a super stock. Rick saying, keep telling him till hell freezes over. And it is a rare car too. Oh, Rick saying, nice catching up. For a long time, I couldn't leave the damn comment. Oh, cool. I'm glad you can now. Let's see. Damn, Riff said somebody put 13,000 on it in 1 month. Eesh. Oh, Rick saying he's liking the early chat. I would prefer to do an early chat because it allows me the opportunity to get some other stuff done around here without having to rush to get something done and then jump on the chat. Oh, David's saying Demon 170 for sale up in the Toronto area, 5 for sale on Auto Trailer, cheapest $299. Get out of town, dude. Most expensive was over $360. Holy shit. Oh, Rick saying, yeah, the Hellcat is a good bit over 900 on E85. Very nice. On a Mustang dyno. That's a stout build right there if that's on a Mustang dyno. Red Dog saying, but that B5 blue is looking sweet. B5 blue always looks good. That's the very first color of Hellcat I ever saw, by the way. It was a B5 blue Hellcat with a black hood. Oh, Riff, 2015 Cat put down 880 to the wheels. Very nice. Oh, Rick saying, I was bummed knowing you're selling your Hellcat. Yeah, the funny thing is that nobody wanted it. And that's kind of the sad thing is that, or at least nobody wanted to spend the money on it. And I was willing to put, the wheels, the deal was the wheels, everything came with the car, my tuning and my tuning support would have come with that car and nobody wanted it. So off it all came. Oh, Patrick, I'm surprised it didn't come with some kind of cage. Um, Hard Rock's asking, what do you project about the performance end of the auto industry direction in about 5 years? Well, it's going to depend on some elections that we have coming up. So, and by the way, vote, vote, vote. I don't care what it's for. If it's for city council, the dog catcher, whatever, guys, if you're not getting out there and voting, you're conscious. You've got to be doing that. Conscience, not conscious, conscience. You got to be doing that right now, fellas. It's more important than it ever has been in history, I think, for you guys to be exercising your right to vote. Register to vote. If you don't know how to do it, call your local DMV, figure out how to get registered, and then figure out how to get down there and vote. I don't care if it's for bond elections. Get out there and vote. It's very, very important that you do that. But anyway, what's it going to look like? Not much different than what it looks like now. The problem is that we're not seeing anything coming over that proverbial horizon, right? You're not seeing anything coming that you can really gather up any momentum for. And in terms of like groundswell and excitement and any of that stuff, it's hold on, I got this tag is trying to make out with the back of my neck. There's just nothing that is out there from Dodge that's worth really talking about. There's some possibilities of some stuff, but I mean, you can't take that to the bank. The other thing is Ford is looking strong for the next 5 years. Guys, remember that Ford, this is the same company that's been offering up 7 and 750 horsepower pickup trucks, 750 and now 800 horsepower Mustang options and kits. That would still put you at less than the cost of a Hellcat. I'll just let that sink in for a hot minute. The FRP 800 offering, I think it's the concept, but you're going to have wheels and a body kit and everything else. Looks the business, fellas. I mean, it really is. So anyway, where I'm going with that is you have Ford that is actively supporting their hot rods and their pickup truck guys too, with legit hot rod stuff out there. Dodge isn't doing that. Ram certainly is not doing that, at least not yet. We're still waiting for the H to hit. The Hurricane 6 is what I'm talking about. We're waiting on the H to hit. But again, there's not any groundswell for this. And this is an opportunity, really, guys, for Dodge to pull another page out of history, where you have the Little Red Express and the Warlock being the two products that they can introduce to circumvent some of these emissions issues. Well, we'll see if that ends up being the case, but the reality is that you could have a hot rod in one of these pickup trucks and just really have a, have a wolf in plain sight with some of these trucks. I can tell you my experience driving that Grand Wagoneer with the high output Hurricane Inline 6, a 6,500 pound behemoth, shut my mouth up when it came to any kind of criticism on that engine. So 6,500 pound, Grand Wagoneer versus 5,500 or 5,600 pound all-wheel drive, read into that four-wheel drive truck. That's 1,000 pounds off. You want to talk about how quick that truck would be with 355 gears? Egad. And by the way, that's my understanding is one of the gear options now for the 6. If that's the case, that's nasty. A two-wheel drive variant would be like Stormy with that engine is a 5,200 pound truck. And I mean, damn, if you can get it to hook, how nasty would that thing be? So, to say that we're in for a pretty wild ride with that engine in the trucks is one thing, but talk about that in a car that would be all-wheel drive. There's not a Hellcat that's roaming the streets right now to be able to hang with that thing on the street. You will get your clock cleaned, pressed, and folded for you in that respect. So, I mean, just saying, there's a lot to be said for what could be coming down the pipe. But nobody's talking anything about it now, so we can't really, I can tell you what I'd love to see, fellas. It just, I can also tell you that what I'd love to see ain't coming, at least not anytime real soon. And again, Red Dog, thank you, brother, for the question and the contribution. Oh, Rift, yeah. Trackhawk is nasty to deal with. Anything all-wheel drive with this kind of power, you got to have it really for the street, or else you're just going to get smoked. That's all there is to it. Rick's saying, hey, they match my Hellcat rim to rim, tire for tire. You driving could give any 170 a hard time. Oh yeah, I've driven cars that are faster than the 170, but it's not really. I don't know. It wouldn't. They haven't been as refined as the 170. A 345 would not fit. I don't think it would. You would have to have the right wheel and tire, and the offset would look weird with the wide body kit. Marco's saying, I'm done with Dodge. Only like the Power Wagon and Classic Ram. I can get that. Skid saying, B, go ride a Ducati Multistrada Pikes Peak V4. It's the Apex Predator of the adventure bikes. You'll change your tune. I bet I would. So I was just at the dealership today. It's in the back. To get the oil for my second oil change. My Z900 is Z900 RS Cafe. I better be specific or else I'm gonna get in trouble. Is up for its second oil change. We just did an oil change at 267 miles. Oh, and y'all, yeah, I do. I gotta block out some of this, but yes, I do take my stuff pretty seriously. So yeah, there you go. I am logging everything in my owner's manual. At 221 miles, we did a chain adjustment. 268 miles, oil change. 403 miles, chain adjustment. 403 miles, had the quick throttle installed. So at 500 miles, give or take, maybe 600 miles, we're going to do a second oil change on it. That I was at the dealership, and Ducati has their own section. So does BMW. By the way, the parallel twin 1800s, Skids, have you seen what I'm talking about? The thing looks like an aircraft engine on a motorcycle. I freaking love it. And they're heavy as hell, though. I think that bike's like 800 pounds, whereas my T-Bird's 680, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The hell was that? There's some pretty interesting stuff coming down from those guys. But yeah, Ducati's all over that. By the way, that Scrambler, dude, that Scrambler is a sick-looking little bike. Ken's asking, is it possible to put a trans brake on the red eye? I'm at a disadvantage in bracket racing by foot braking. I want to place in final rounds, but I still want it to be a street car. I think you can. I believe it is a software update for the red eye. I will tell you though that, and I know where you're going with the consistency with foot braking for bracket racing. I know of several guys though that foot brake bracket race cars. I used to bracket race. You can't really see it. This little girl right here. Actually, that's Foxy. I used to bracket race Foxy, and that's a stick shift car. But I can tell you that I think the provision, is it in the car? I can't remember specifically. I think you can put one on the HP70, but to get the same type of trans brake that's in the Demon, I think is a software update. I don't have access to it though through HP tuners that I can remember. You don't. That's a body control module thing. But I would check with some tuners to see if that's something that can now be unlocked. Z Automotive may have something that will help you along with that. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. That gets a heart. Thank you. Let's see. Oh. Oh, hang on. Let me catch up with this. Oh, Riff's liking the wide body. Yeah, I like the wide body. When I was, like I said, when I had that 2018 Demon for the month that I had it. I really enjoyed driving that car. Oh, Hard Rock saying early chat works better for me. East Coast here. I think I'm going to start doing the chat earlier, guys. I'm going to try to maybe get on this around 7. Oh, Sovereign saying for some reason the Go Mango is showing up looking red rather than orange. It has to be the dealership lighting. It is. It is. Matter of fact, red line red in fluorescent lights in a picture looks like Go Mango, which is kind of funny. Sovereign saying vote. Yes. Oh, Rift is saying, yeah, up in NorCal. That's where I was, lived up there for a while. Yeah, there's a lot of headaches when it comes to dealing with stuff, especially in California, man. And I'd be upset too, man. I would be very upset. But yeah, guys, yeah, absolutely. Vote. Yeah, definitely vote, guys. I'm not kidding. It's not an option for you anymore. And again, I don't care what it's for. If you have to register to vote, go do it. If you, in some areas, you just show up with your driver's license, which is kind of the way it should be anyway. They log you and then you go in and you vote. Done deal. I really do feel like it is more important now than it has ever been. So definitely, guys, it cannot be stated enough. Get out there and vote. Common sense, man. Common sense. Hey guys, just remember, I don't ever do anything political. I don't have a leaning one way or another with the channel. So I always try to say, keep it cool when it comes to that kind of stuff. And just remember, in the center, it's nice and quiet. The further you go in any direction, it gets louder and louder and dumber. So that's my political view. If you've ever wondered, that's exactly where I'm at with that. Hard Rock's loving his scat, dude. I bet, man. Scats are fun on the street. Scatty with this wheel and tire combination on the street is a riot. Oh, Riff. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Summer's like, what broke? Yeah. Don't be scared about taking anything to the track right now. Yeah, he's going through a bit of a problem with that thing. Oh, Rick said, I want to personally thank you. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for hanging out. I followed your advice to the T on my bill, and I'm very happy with my Hellcat. Very cool, man. That's awesome. I'm glad. I'll always like hearing when I've at least helped somebody along. Oh, Rift, yeah, his issues with his car. Pretty, Summer, what do you think about the Cybertruck tipping over and popping out AA batteries? The funny thing is those cells, it looks like it's nothing but a bunch of these little bitty batteries, which is one of the things that's scary about an electric car, because that's kind of how those cells are made. And it only takes one cell to flake out. Oh, Dan saying maybe Dodge is waiting to clear more 2023 inventory. Well, see, that's a double-edged sword, though, Daniel, because like if I'm Dodge and I want to really accelerate V8 sales, I say there's something inline 6 turbo powered coming. It's going to be fast as hell. Okay, but if you want that V8 rumble and sound, you better buy now. I mean, that's how you clear out inventory, it seems like, with as many comments as I get about people hating on everything that's not a V8. You would think that they would sell out overnight, right? Reality doesn't work like that. But again, there's different ways you can market it, and you could at least figure out a way to liquidate your V8 stock pretty quickly. Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of smog issues where in your neck of the woods for sure. I don't think any part of the country has it worse. Oh, Rome saying, I've heard a few stories of the inline 6 going bad. Man, I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I know some of the early adopters were kind of wishing they wouldn't have messed with it, but all of these things have a bit of a beta test period that they come with. Oh, Rick's working with OST. Yeah, we've actually worked with Mike and Micah on several different occasions. Oh yeah. As far as I guess Rick's talking about body shop stuff like that. Yeah, it kind of can be few and far between up there. And Ken, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate the contribution to the cause, my friend. Patrick's asking, is Amsoil really any better than Mobil One or Pennzoil? Nope. I did a whole video on oils, and I don't have my computer with me. I have done an obnoxious amount of research when it comes to engine oils. And I mean, we're talking about viscosity at 40 degrees Celsius, viscosity at 100 degrees Celsius, viscosity index, the whole bit. I have literally gone down the most boring rabbit hole you could ever imagine because, gents, for the most part, all synthetic oils perform roughly the same. There's a window that they will perform within. There are some that are technically better than others, but none of them are bad. So this is one of those scenarios where even the worst synthetic is actually really good. So what are you looking for with an engine oil? You're looking for just a brand name that you can sit down on. So if you like Castrol, Castrol has a great base stock, so you can always go that route. Castrol always seems to perform in terms of viscosity, at least in my experience. It's always been a little bit more viscous, or at least that's what it acted like as far as what oil pressure would look like versus what it would show on the technical data sheet or the MDS, the material data sheet. Mobil One is really good. Pennzoil is also very, very good. You cannot go wrong with Pennzoil ever. From there, though, take your pick. As long as you're changing the oil every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, and you're using a full synthetic and a new filter every time, you're good to go. Go to Advanced Auto Parts and see what you can find on clearance. Use that. For you guys with the 392s, any 040 or 540 is going to be just fine. For you guys with Hemis, I actually have kind of fallen in love with Castrol 020 for my truck. So, but Buffy has got almost 190,000 miles on her and has only ever used a synthetic from Take 5 oil change, because I can't change my own work truck oil because it has to be logged and documented. And it's only used their synthetics. And the funny thing about it is that it runs great, and it doesn't get driven lightly either. So, Patrick, for the next car, how about a Plymouth GTX? I would love a Plymouth GTX. I just don't have the kind of money to afford one. So if you're willing to pick one up and deliver it to me, I would love that. Skin saying the small scrambler, I believe, is still air cooled. Ducati goodness, yes. 1800 parallel twin, cheese and rice. That's huge, dude. It's awesome. I'm not kidding. The cylinder head is this big around. They really over exaggerated. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Oh, Dano's saying, yeah, there's some good shops in San Francisco, Daly City, San Ho. San Ho's got some good shops. I know that. Red Dog's asking, any advice on tracking a manual trans car? I have problems with the 1 to 2 and have a skip shift and Barton shifter. So clutch line modification needs to be done to that car. That's where you pull that little restrictor out. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, just Google clutch line modification, and it'll show you exactly what it is. There's this little flow restrictor that'll help you out a ton. It'll make the thing actually act like it's supposed to, and you won't get a spongy clutch on that 1-2 when you're grabbing that first to second gear. Other than that, you already know how to drive a manual, man. Just get out there and grip it and rip it, baby. That's all you got to do. Someone's saying Dodge. Oh yeah, Rick, that body shop stuff is like wizardry to me. Um, Rick's kind of Mike and OST said my build would be stupid powerful. Is that what I want? I said that's always been kind of my fast. I like it. Um, oh yeah, HU said I was able to install a transmitter on my Mustang by using two solenoids. What it did was enable me to lock first and second together. I don't know if you can do that with HP transmissions. Somebody's out there doing it. I just never really messed with it. I always foot brake these cars, and I have had pretty good success with that. Um, Ripped has got his Gen 5 ready to go. Good deal. So we're saying, yep. Skid saying, more of you need to be on two wheels. Come on. I'll tell you what, man. I'm talking to the guys at the dealership. They're selling bikes, and that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. So, and I'm hoping to get my wife on a bike here pretty soon. I'm going to get her one of the little MSF style Yamahas. Take her over here to the parking lot and start going through clutch friction zone, throttle application. Do not target fixate. Do not target fixate. Look where you want to go, not where you're going. All of that kind of good stuff. So, and then I'm just going to start doing long smoky burnouts on a 250cc V-twin. Like, you're buying this for you. It's like, no, I'm not, babe. I'm buying it for you. I will do a burnout. I'm such a freaking child when it comes to making smoke come off the tires. But anyway, Packer say, oh, I hear great things about the whip. At the very least, it should run cooler than the IHI. The IHI 3.0 is actually really, really good. But yeah, the whip, I mean, the whip's the gold standard. So yeah, gas is nuts up there in NorCal, dude. Ken said, if you run a Whipple, don't tell tech that it isn't factory. They'll make you run a roll bar. That's crazy. Yeah, Skid said, we can modify it all here in God bless Texas. Absolutely, you can. Sarah said, I guess the Hurricane i6 is not using steel sleeves in the cylinder, but rather using some kind of plasma spray. Correct. The plasma spray is actually better than the steel sleeves. It's harder than steel. So, but yeah, damn, we got all kinds of sirens going on out there. But yeah, it does use that plasma. Ford uses it. Ford's been using that stuff for a long time. Riff with some of the folks he's worked with. I get you. Patrick saying, yay, engine oil social, nerding out. Guys, I'm telling you, I put together a spreadsheet that is obnoxious. I went like on an Excel. So for you guys that I've done Excel spreadsheets on oil and on this obnoxious one about a gear calculator that I put together that's just like, my God, you could tell I was married to a school teacher because, I mean, she conks out at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock when she gets home. So I just had nothing better to do but to put together computer Excel spreadsheets. Well, HU, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of folks that are V8 diehards. And, you know, they just go absolutely crazy over that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it would drive them to buy up all the rest of them. I have no idea. Good deal, Riff. Let's see. Summer says, what do you think of Arco gas versus Chevron? I'm beginning to think that Arco gas I've been using is the cause of that rotten egg smell. That's a catalytic converter thing. If you smell rotten eggs like that, that's definitely a cat issue. Chevron's good stuff. In fact, there's a Chevron station. Talking about there's a Chevron station that I used to get fuel at specifically for the Demon. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Arco gas. Yeah, dude, I don't ever buy stuff that's not like top tier that I can, that I can trust. Sovereign, wouldn't plasma spray be a nightmare to fix versus replacing jackets? You would think, yeah. But a lot of times, if something goes drastically bad, the block's pretty much trash. I think that's their thought process. Oh, Rick saying, yeah, I didn't go at the Hellcat to be serious. Going after some kind of number, I drive it everywhere I go exactly as I drive it to the track. I don't have any way to haul another set of rims and tires. I get that too. Sovereign, yeah, I miss the little dog. Um, yeah, I don't know why. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, Rick. I have no clue. Rick said, I caught my 9-second Hellcat on 10-second factory rims and front tires, and my set of 305 Mickeys is a lot of fun. Think I can crack a 9 if everything goes right. Should be able to. So I'm going back to Chevron. Even use the good fuel, man. Don't use trash gas. Um, Modified exhaust BS. Yeah, I wasn't in California for the modified exhaust laws. I did. I was cool with some of the cops that were up and down the peninsula with my coupe. And I mean, in fact, I had one chick cop that had passed me on the left. And so me being young and just me being me, I kind of caught up with her. I was like, hey, what's up? I don't know. I could kind of get away with stuff back then. I don't think it'd go over so well these days. Got her number though. Patrick saying, are 305 safe to run on a mid 9-second car? Yeah, of course they are. I mean, shit, I ran 305 35 20s on one of the red eyes during testing. And then it went to one of my drag pack setups. But yeah, just had to roll into the throttle and just kind of be cool with it coming out of the hole. But yeah, you just have to be mindful of what kind of tire you're on. And I wouldn't say I would do that over and over again. And then we moved. Well, I'll take it back. We did that, and then we moved to a set of. No, we didn't. That was a different car. We did that, and we immediately went to a drag pack. And then that car was like a 960, 940 car. It was a fun little car. Oh, Ken saying, I would like a mechanical button trans. The Demon trans brake is too complicated. It is. It is kind of a pain. Like I said, I never messed with it. I was always foot brake with the Demons too. Skids is out. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to have to wrap it up, guys. It is coming up on an hour and a half. And I got to get running here soon. So I'm going to try to catch up with you guys. Oh, looks like we're already down to the bottom of the feed. Let's say. Yeah, Patrick's saying the 1320 trans brake nods out easily too. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I always just foot brake those things. But anyway, guys, listen, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I wanted to bring you guys this chat because, again, a lot of you guys were asking me about that car. If I'm getting one, is that why I sold the Hellcat? What's the deal? What's the real story behind this? I'm hoping that this was I don't know, kind of give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes look at some of the things that can go on and things that can go wrong when you're trying to put something like this together. Really, the main thing is what I wanted. Oh, wait, hang on. William, thank you very much. Hang on a second. Let's answer William's question real quick. Not to change the subject, but I took your advice and built my 23 RT from the back forward 391 on an auto and catback. You said that alone would be a right to drive. You are correct. 5.7, very awesome. And I'm telling you, man, that is really the main thing is it's got to be fun. And the main thing, you always build them from the back to the front, from the bottom to the top. And that's exactly what you did. And I'm stoked for you. Oh, speaking of which, RAM content, I recently, for you guys that know or don't know, Orange Crush bought a 23 RAM 1500 4x4 with the Built to Serve package, which has got a little bit of a lift kit. We took the stock springs off of Stormy and put them on the back of his truck, and it perfectly stanced out that 4x4. So if you've got a Built to Serve and you want to stance that thing out nice and not have it cat's assed, just go to your dealership and get a cheap set of two-wheel drive DT springs for your DT 4x4 with the Built to Serve package, and it looks phenomenal. So anyway, fun fact for you there. But William, you get a heart. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. But thank you very much for the contribution, William. I appreciate that, brother. But again, I do got to wrap it up. Guys, again, I hope that what I was saying, it makes sense for you. And again, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, let you guys know what I was up against, what I was experiencing firsthand, and why I might have been a little bit on the salty side when it came to Demon 170 chat. So anyway, we're beyond that. Keep an eye out. Literally, as I was saying it, Sovereign posted up. Keep an eye out for Racer X's stuff and for Demonology stuff. Support those guys. Those are the guys that I would have been yucking it up with had I had mine. And but anyway, I'm happy that my friends got one, and I will be supporting them the same as you. And with that, guys, I do have to wrap it up. Listen, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. Dad, miss and love you. And with that, that is a wrap. Adios.